Hi, it's Shannon and Mayor Puppy Pants, and we're coming to you today to talk about lost pets. What it's like for me as an animal communicator to talk with lost pets and their families, and also some tips for preventing your pets from getting lost and ways to hopefully get them back should that ever happen. So, what's it like for an animal communicator to talk with lost pets? Well, it's scary because we understand the fear that their people are in. That's one of my worst fears as a pet mom. And in the past, I had 2 dogs that used to love to escape and run all over Charleston, South Carolina. One of them always liked to get out of the fence to chase cats. And once they get a taste for getting out of the fence, it's pretty hard to try to keep them in, even when you regularly walk them and play with them. So that being said, tip number 1, of course, is get a much more secure fence than what I had 30 years ago, 20 years ago. I'm not that old. And also make sure, of course, that your pets are microchipped and that your information is up to date. A lot of times when people adopt pets, they don't call the microchip company and add in their current address, name, and phone number. So your microchip is not validly active until you call the microchip company to give your information as the pet parent. Make sure you do that. Okay, so I'd like to tell you about a couple of lost pet cases that I've had. Sometimes they have happy endings and sometimes, of course, not so happy ending, and some of them will remain missing indefinitely. One time I had a lost dog. Not mine, but a client's lost dog. And she called me up in a panic. This was a dog that had been a part of her rescue. And I will make the name here Sandy. So Sandy had been newly adopted, escaped from her mom. And when this friend of mine, I'll call her Tracy, called me up and said, Shannon, please help us find Sandy. Oh my gosh, her poor mom is in such a panic. She loves her and misses her dearly. Now, I have to stay very, very calm and level-headed and not get to that emotional place so that I can be a level-headed communicator and accurately get a read on the information from the animal. Number 1, are they alive? Number 2, how are they doing? Number 3, are they willfully gone? Some pets run away on purpose. They're unhappy at home. Or, as often is the case with many cats, they may be very happy at home, but it's simply time for a change, like when our kids grow up and go to college. It's not that they don't love you anymore or that they don't love their home, but it's time to move on. They have a new purpose in life. So with cats, I often have to ask the case, are you actually missing or did you go off on an adventure? Do you plan on coming back from your adventure? Sometimes they say yes, sometimes it's a heck no right away, and sometimes it's somewhere in the middle. So it's my job as the communicator to find out from the pets how they're feeling, if they're alive, what it is that they need, do they plan on coming back home, and relay all of their messages, no matter how painful or unpalatable, back to the pet parents. And ask them to remember that I am the messenger. I can't control somebody's pet. I can't make them come home. I can't make your pets do anything any more than I could make your human kids do anything. But I can get information, insights, and answers and relay messages back and forth. I have a very unique set of skills and gifts intuitively where I can understand what your pets are thinking and feeling and what it is that they most need from us should they go missing. So, some of the tips that I have gotten from pets, I will pass along here in a moment, but back to this dog named Sandy that was missing. When I hear from my friend that she wants me to help the dog, I said, yes, I can do that. This was a missing, newly adopted rescue pet, which is a donation that I make. I can't always do it, but I do it as often as I can. If these are your personal pets, you definitely need to schedule a private session so that I can directly talk with you. It is a lot of information. It's a lot of emotion on everybody's parts that gets invested in a lost pet session. For this dog, Sandy said, Shannon, tell Tracy to go out and sell Girl Scout cookies this Saturday and she will find me. Now, my friend Tracy was in her 60s, and I'm thinking, what? Why would my friend go out and sell Girl Scout cookies? She's in her 60s. But it's not my job to censor the information or interpret the information. It's to hear it and relay it and ask more questions from the animal about what it is that they mean to make sure that I've understood them correctly. And then, of course, get answers to their parents' questions as well. So I called up my friend and I said, Tracy, you're not going to believe this, but Sandy's advice is that you go out and sell Girl Scout cookies this Saturday. And she said, well, you're not going to believe this. I am going out to sell Girl Scout cookies this Saturday. And sure enough, she had a granddaughter and she was going to be out there helping to sell cookies. So Sandy, the dog, was convinced that if my friend was knocking door to door, she could get eyes and ears on Sandy. This almost has a happy ending. Unfortunately, there's always still free will, which is why there are so many moving pieces in a missing pet case. I asked for Sandy to describe the person that picked her up because I immediately got a sense that she had in fact been picked up by somebody and where she had been picked up. I heard that she had been picked up by a gas station, and my friend was able to confirm that that's actually where she had gotten lost, was right near a gas station. I got a very, very concrete description of the neighborhood that my friend was able to confirm that that's where the adopter had lived, and that the dog was still within a couple of mile radius of where her adoptive mom had lived. So I asked the dog to give me a description of the woman that had picked her up. And she said, she's white and she's black. She's white, she's black. And I was like, well, which one is it? And it turned out that she's biracial. Wow. So that was the first time that I learned that. It's why it's so important the animal communicator can, in the context of a private session, focus on the details of what we are being shown. Now, if that was in a live session and I say to the mom, well, the person is white, then the mom can go off on a whole tangent about all the white people she thinks has stolen the dog or picked up the dog. Or she can go on and on about a black person that she thinks has stolen the dog or picked up the dog. So we don't want stories to be told. I have to stay very present with what the animal is sharing and then get more information, question, answer, and truly, truly listen and process the information and not add on a story which can easily get us off track. So we got so close to this dog just without revealing the confidentiality of the person, we knew where this dog was. Unfortunately, between when my friend went to go find the dog and when the dog was found, the dog was hit by a car. The dog managed to get out of the house that she was being held in and was hit by a car. So this did not have the happy ending that we were hoping for. The dog was still alive when I made initial contact. The dog gave amazing descriptions. And I mean, my gosh, to give me the guidance to tell mom to go out on a Girl Scout mission when mom already had plans to do that. Animals know everything. They just do. They know how to get help for themselves. They know what their people are thinking and feeling. And it's up to us to try to get them that help that they need. And we can't do that if we're in a hysterical state. I can't do that at any given moment. If somebody calls me and says, oh my God, my dog is lost. Oh my God, my cat is missing. Oh my gosh. I have to stay centered and focused and create the time and the space to do this. I do also do emergency sessions. So I do take on emergency calls. But please just be aware that while I'm sharing this, I get many, many requests for lost, missing, and stolen animals. Some of these have had great reunions, some of them not, because pets sometimes are willfully missing, sometimes have been stolen. I did a stolen dog case in Texas where a Subaru and a pit bull, a service pit bull, were stolen. And I got a very good description of the perpetrator. The mom privately hired me to work with her, and I was able to deliver information that I had no other way of knowing, but that mom was able to confirm. They did eventually recover the car and the dog. I wish that was because of my information, but even though I did a fantastic job on this, the way that they were eventually able to recover this stolen dog and car was because there was what's it called? It is some type of GPS tracking system that Subarus have. I think it's called Starlight or something. Anyway, it's a feature that Subarus have. That even though it wasn't officially activated, it was still somehow able for the manufacturer to track down the car. Each case is very different. There was one time a lost cat case that I worked on, and this cat was all the way over in France. I'm in Florida. So quite a distance away in the world that this cat was. How is it possible that I can help a cat get reunited with her mom on the other side of the world? Because it's all a telepathic process. The first thing that I heard from this cat was she very much wants to come home. She misses mom, she's scared, and she doesn't know how to get home. Okay, so I work from there. She wants to come home, she wants to be reunited. That's great news. What can you tell me that you see, kitty? What is around you? All of a sudden, I heard the song from Mary Poppins, the Chim Chimney Chim Chim Chiroo song, and she showed me a whole bunch of low-lying chimneys, almost like the chimneys were on the ground, which didn't make sense to me because here in the States, to my knowledge, chimneys are always up high. I've never even been to France. I relayed this information to the mom, and she said, I know exactly where she is. And there was a city where the chimneys were, in fact, low down on the ground, a main, very public area, and her kitty was able to be reunited with her. So that had a very, very happy ending. I have done so many different missing, lost, stolen pets. It always tugs at my heartstrings. I wish I could help everybody's pets that I see that come into the social media feeds. I simply can't. I usually will get an initial sense if this is going to have a happy ending or not. But even that can change because every minute counts. The variables change when the pet is on the move or they change hands between people. The intentions of the person who has picked them up, if in fact they have been found by somebody, the emotional and physical state that the animal is currently in at the time that we schedule our session, all of these things are moving pieces. One of the things that a missing dog in Tampa told me one time to pass on to future pet parents that are missing their beloved furry creatures is to, on your lost posters, common sense, but a lot of people don't do it, put a very clear photo where you can see the pet's eyes. So many of these lost pet posters have side views or too much distracting information in the background. Have a very clear, updated shot of what your pet looks like now. Also, this pet gave a very helpful tip, which is to put medical needs animal on the lost flyer. Your pet may or may not have medical needs, but if you put medical needs on the flyer, if your pet has in fact been stolen, that will possibly cause the conscience of the thief to maybe have a second thought and do the right thing and turn the pet in and not sell them or harm them or anything like that. So putting medical needs on there does create an urgent need. Make sure you obviously put your clear name, a cell phone number. Have people also take a photograph of when they see your pet, because people won't always be able to catch your pet, especially if it is a scared dog or cats. A lot of the time people don't know that your cat is lost because we see stray cats a lot. So have a very clear action plan, your contact information and emergency contact information besides yourself, and medical needs on there, your pet's behaviors and habits, and truly very clear guidelines of what people need to do when they have in fact spotted your pet. Okay? Most people think that when you find a pet, take them to the SPCA or the Humane Society. You can try that, but when I have tried that in the past, they say, we don't take in strays. We advise you to call animal control. So take a pet to a local vet, have them scanned for the microchip. If the pet's in your car, you've been able to bring them safely back to your home. Have animal control come and scan them. Hopefully you're able to foster them or temporarily house, feed, water, and love them until they're reunited with their parents. If not, animal control can take them in, get them medical attention, give them food, and get the word out there. There are lots and lots of lost and found groups for pets all over social media. Make sure you join them and make sure that your flyers are everywhere. Network like crazy. Add an emotional component to your story. Show that you are a good pet parent. People might be under the misperception that if your pet is out and lost, that you're not a responsible pet parent. I can tell you that I loved and worshipped my 2 dogs that got lost regularly. One of them happened to have terrible, terrible thunderstorm anxiety. That's a whole other story. But she had some underlying medical needs that would cause her to escape from the slightest forms of panic. So don't be quick to judge that somebody's a bad pet parent because their pets are out. All types of accidents happen. Service people, family members, pet sitters sometimes leave open a gate or a fence. There's a hole in it. So do your due diligence around your property to make sure that your pets are secure. Take a look at their microchip. Have a clear, common sense flyer. Network and hire an animal communicator that will be truthful with you, which is that we cannot guarantee a reunion. I can guarantee you a connection with your pet, wherever they are in the world and whatever the circumstances is. I can relay messages back and forth. That I can promise you. I wish I could promise a happy reunion in every case. I can't. And one last quick story. I saw a cute little birdie when I was out walking my dogs that got my attention. And I went, wow, that is not a usual bird. And in fact, it was an escaped private pet bird. I immediately heard from the bird. This is the best day of my life, Shannon. I am finally free. It was like the bird had recently read the book, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. She had made her escape, and she was preferring one day of freedom in the wild to a lifetime of captivity. She did not want to be returned to her owners. When a few blocks later, I saw people that were looking for a pet, there was no reason at that point to pass along that message. The animal's wishes must come first. They must. That's the only way where they differ from our human children. So their wishes need to be honored on all areas. I will always be truthful. I will always do my best for the animals and for their human people. Thank you so much for watching the video. Be sure to subscribe to our Mayor Puppy Pants. There he is, sleeping on the job. He's heard these stories so many times. Mayor Puppy Pants on Unleashed Animal Communication on YouTube. Facebook Mayor Puppy Pants, Instagram Mayor Puppy Pants, and you can always book a private session just for fun to connect with any of your animal loved ones or your human loved ones that have passed on, or a psychic reading for yourself at shannonspring.com. Until then, smooches to your pooches, kisses to your kittens, and bear hugs to you humans. Please keep your pets safe and happy. Much love.